What is going on, everyone? Hope you are having a great Monday so far. We are back on schedule, which means it is time for a brand new Nadespot video. This week, I'm going to be covering the map Rammaza. I personally love this map for nades. I get spawn nades on it all the time. I'm going to be covering search and destroy as well as some domination nade spots as well. So let's get into it. So first up, we have a offensive nade that is going to be hitting in the middle of the map. All you have to do is when you spawn, just run up towards this truck and throw the nade straight over it, and you'll be able to get people as they're pushing through mid. Next up, we have a really popular nade for the offensive side when you're pushing towards B. People like to throw it over the top here, but I don't like it because sometimes you can get stuck in the buildings or the nade will get stuck up there. So I like to just throw it straight through the window and just let it roll either on the shutter or on the ground. Next up is a really great nade if you are trying to defend the A side. So when you come off spawn, you're just going to want to throw the nade over this satellite dish that's in front of me, and you'll be able to catch them going up the stairs. This next nade spot is really good for defending the B site. If you don't exactly want to be directly on the side or in a normal position where people usually check, you can hold middle map here. I don't see people using this nade spot enough, but I think it's really beneficial. You can throw nades over top of these roofs here because they're not really high, and you can nade directly on the B site. So you'll see here I'm sitting right on this doorway, and I just throw it straight up in the air, and I'm able to nade the site directly. It's also important to note, too, that as long as you line up the nade with B site, if you're pretty much anywhere in mid-map, you can get a nade over by that truck or on the bomb site. This next one is another offensive nade for B as well. A lot of times people like to sit up in those top two windows. This is a good one if you have double time or if you're running with a knife and you think you can beat someone there. If you throw the nade, line it up with the left window, it'll roll down the staircase and catch them as they're running into that building. This next nade is if you're pushing towards A side and someone's in that very popular top three window kind of section that people like to sit in and like to just hold rugs and make sure no one pushes through the bridge. But if you're coming up here through spawn, if you aim in between this tin roof and this concrete roof right here where that section of sky is, just throw the nade right over there and it'll land directly in that spot without them even seeing you. This next nade is for the defense side, although it does hit the spawn side for offense. So people like to sit back in that truck in their spawn just to maybe get a pick mid before they go to A or B. So what you want to do is you just want to come up here, aim the nade a little bit to the right of this like alleyway, throw it, and then it'll line up with a truck where people like to mount or just sit there and stare mid. This next nade's a little cheeky, but it's really effective. If you're in top three here, you can actually ricochet the nade and bank it down onto the A site without people even knowing you're there. This next nade is for the B site. This is another cheeky nade as well. Maybe you want to hold down mid-map control while you guys have the bomb down at B, or maybe you're trying to retake or something like that, and you know someone's on the site, maybe defusing or planning, and you have mid control. You can roll nades off of this sign on the staircase here, so you can still look over mid map, throw it real quick, and it'll roll onto the site. Another thing to note for this map with domination is you cannot nade from site to site directly. So you can't nade from A to B, B to A, B to C, or C to B. It's not possible with just the roofs. You're kind of tucked in buildings on each of the flags. So there are some good nade spots to get people off of B flag though. So the first nade is a little room up by rugs here to my left. If you stand on the chair that's in that room, you can actually look through that tiny little crease in the window and you can roll nades onto the site with them not even having an angle on you or knowing you're there. Next nade I have here is on the B side, or what would be the B side for search. If you're over here on these top two window sections, you can nade over top of these buildings. Even if you're maybe by truck or over here on the left, you can nade over these buildings directly onto the B flag. So if you're trying to keep alleyway control or you're trying to rotate between flags, you can still nade people off of B. Now, even though you can't nade from flag to flag, if you're coming off of C and A, you can nade from the sites. So you'll see on the kill cam here, what you want to do is when you come off the stairs, you just line the nade up directly with B, and you'll be able to throw a nade straight on the site. This next nade's a little bit trickier off of A, but it is a pretty simple one to throw once you throw it a few times. Once you finish capping the A flag, if you just throw a nade slightly to the left of the B flag, I kind of throw it over this I-beam here. If you throw it to the left of that I-beam, it will roll off of the back wall and land perfectly on the B flag. All right, everyone, that wraps it up for today's Nadespot video. Hopefully you learned something new. As always, if I missed anything, let me know. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Peace out.